As we start this video, let's all agree on something. Let's establish the fact that Gears of War changed gaming forever. Not only was it one of the first truly HD console games ever released, but it was also the game that introduced all of us to cover-based shooting as we know it today. If you like games like Uncharted, The Last of Us, The Division, or basically any other third-person shooter to come out in the last 2 decades, you have Gears to thank for that. Now, for a brief time, Gears even managed to overthrow Halo as the most played game on Xbox Live, but ever since Epic Games left the franchise after the original trilogy, things have gone downhill. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Chaos here. I'm going to get your hopes up today. I'm going to go down that rabbit hole of the Gears Remastered collection. We're going to talk about the leaks that suggest this is actually real. Now, the IP is now handled by a studio called The Coalition. It's a cool name, and while Gears of 4 was decent, it didn't have many original ideas to offer. The follow-up, Gears 5, it was extremely divisive, and since its release in 2019, much of the community has left the franchise in the rear view. But with Microsoft getting more and more competitive in the gaming sphere over the last few years, you know it's inevitable. They're going to use the massive influence of Gears of War to their advantage, and not only is there a 6th game coming in development, but there's been a lot of leaks suggesting there is a Master Chief Collection style remaster of the original trilogy in the works. So in this video, we're going to go over everything that we know about the highly anticipated Gears Remastered collection. You let me know, would you go buy a big Gears Revival game like this, and how much would you actually spend on it? Before we jump in, today's video is powered by Software Keep. Nobody wants to pay monthly fees or hidden fees when it comes to getting your Microsoft Office or 365 or Windows or antivirus or anything else for PC and Apple users. That's where Software Keep comes in. It is a Microsoft certified partner who only sells 100% genuine Microsoft software and offers a full service 360-degree software buying experience. And nobody has time to wait. 3 easy steps: add the product to your cart, use code CHAOS20 to get 20% extra off. The link is at the top of the description. And within 30 minutes or less, you will have your product delivered to you. And it's hard to know who to trust these days, but with over 100,000 5-star customer ratings, you're in good hands with Software Keep. Click the link in the description, use code CHAOS20 to get that 20% extra discount and start saving today. So the leaks of a Geared Remastered collection started circulating in early 2022, but it was a tad unclear at first what was going on. Now, originally, a couple trusted insiders started talking about how Microsoft was working on this massive remaster collection of one of their franchises as a way to hype up an upcoming game, but it wasn't clear at first that it was actually Gears. Originally, the Xbox community was convinced it was Fable, as the Fable trilogy holds a special place in the hearts of many gamers, and the long-awaited Fable reboot is expected to drop in 2024-2025. There was also a massive Forza Remaster collection seemingly on the table, as a lot of people were eagerly awaiting the upcoming Forza Motorsport, which is now confirmed to be coming out by the end of this year. So after a few weeks of speculation, multiple industry insiders came out and confirmed the remastered collection was indeed Gears of War, and it was going to be structured almost identical to the Halo Master Chief Collection, which, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what would. Now, I'm not talking about the launch of the Master Chief Collection. I'm talking about the end result. Gears of War and Halo are very similarly structured games. Each game includes a campaign, PvP multiplayer, some kind of co-op mode. Gears of War in particular was always praised for its co-op horde mode, and many people consider the rise of wave-based co-op shooters in the late 2000s to come from the success of Gears of War 2. So with that being said, making a big remastered collection like this, it makes a lot of sense. Not only would it hype up the future of the franchise, but it would also help revive the Gears of War community after years of disappointing games pushing them away. Now, I'm not trying to say Gears has been 100% crap since the Coalition took over, but there is no denying that the hype has fizzled out dramatically. Maybe people are just worn out on it. Gears 4 and 5 were underwhelming for many players, especially in regards to the story. Now, Gears Tactics was a surprisingly good spin-off, actually. Wasn't for everybody, given the fact it was a strategy game and not a third-person shooter like the rest in the series, but it was cool. Regardless how you feel about Gears of War right now, there's no denying it could use a little kick in the butt in order to get people talking about it again. A big remaster collection like the MCC, that's the kick in the butt it needs. Now, as for the content the collection would actually contain, there are conflicting theories and reports, but the general consensus is that it would contain all of the campaign, multiplayer, horde content from the first 3 Gears of games. Now, possibly it would even contain the Gears of War Judgment content. That's less likely, though, due to the fact the game really wasn't that popular. It's also unlikely Gears 4 will be added to the collection due to it having been released for the Xbox One. It's currently fully functional on the series consoles as well. Now, on top of that, Gears 4 has a lot of its progression tied to microtransactions, and that simply won't be able to be translated to a collection like this without fundamentally changing the structure of the game itself, which better not happen. I mean, you can guarantee this. Gears 1 through 3 would have all their content brought back over to the remaster collection. It's very likely the multiplayer matchmaking would work the same as Master Chief's collection, where you queue into playlists with a set of filters for game modes and specific games that you want to play. So what happened between 2022 and now when we got these reports? What happened to the leaks? Well, the Gears Remaster Collection has had one of the weirdest arcs with leakers I've ever seen. When the leaks first started coming out, basically everybody was in agreement. This was real and in development, and it's rare for multiple industry insiders to agree on something like this, but we had a lot of trusted people claiming this was legit. Then all of a sudden, right before a major Xbox showcase in mid-2022, some of those insiders, I'm not going to name names because I'm not trying to throw shade here, they came out and said the Gears Remastered Collection was fake and it never existed. According to some, it was just a piece of bad intel born out of wishful thinking, and obviously the showcases went by, no announcement in regards to Gears Remastered or even Gears 6. But through all of that, other insiders continued to insist that the Gears Remastered Collection was real, and some of them still insist upon it to this very day. Now things continue to get even more confusing in January of 2023 when a supposed logo for the Remastered Collection was actually leaked online for what seemed to be an internal Xbox presentation. Possibly for investors, possibly for higher-ups, I don't know. But the leaks were very quickly shut down by Guy Welch, the Xbox marketing director. However, he did not deny the game's existence, which only made the internet go even more crazy and more suspicious of the entire situation. He never flat out said there was no Gears Remastered Collection. He could have put a stamp on it right there. He simply responded to an article talking about the leaked logo and said, fake news, meaning the logo was fake. Now, some took this as confirmation that the Remaster Collection was fake as well, but I want to reiterate, Guy Welch never said that. There was a tweet talking about the leaked logos. He simply responded fake news. There's any number of ways that can be interpreted, and I'm 99% sure he used that wording on purpose for that exact reason. So is the leaked logo real? Seemingly not. But is the game itself real? It might very well be. So where do we go from here? Well, realistically, all we can do at this point is sit patiently and hope Microsoft announces the game at one of their upcoming conferences. And honestly, I think there's a decent chance we get something this summer. There's supposed to be this huge Xbox showcase in June, and while RIP E3, and while that's going to be the focusing of a decent amount of time on Starfield, these events usually reveal a ton of first-party games, and Microsoft has promised that 2023 is going to have a lot to offer. Now, 2022 was very slow for Xbox first-party studios, and Phil Spencer himself said Microsoft was not happy about that, and there's a lot of games in works and a lot of avenues that Microsoft can take to get people hyped up. Now, it was reported a few months ago that Gears of War developers, the Coalition, were going full steam ahead on Gears 6 after canceling a spin-off project, and since the going theory is that Gears Remastered is going to drop about a year prior to Gears 6 to help revive the community, that's kind of how the strategy works, I think there's a decent shot we get a reveal in June if it is real. The last mainline Gears game to come out was Gears 5, launched in 2019. It's been a good gap, and Microsoft isn't going to leave us in the dark for much longer with one of their biggest IPs, especially with the Halo franchise essentially dying off and leaving this huge empty void for Xbox fans that are looking for shooters. Now, speaking of Gears 5, I want to remind everybody, Gears 4 was announced back in the day. Gears of War 4 was announced alongside an announcement for Gears of War Ultimate Edition. It was a full remake of the original game. Then Gears Ultimate Edition launched just a few months later, and when the Gears community's main game until the launch of Gears 4 roughly came out a year later. It's also the same strategy that Microsoft employed for Halo 5, which launched a year after the Master Chief Collection. Now, granted, the Master Chief Collection was a total disaster on launch day, and Halo 5 was a pretty big disappointment, but I think you get the point I'm making here. Microsoft likes to release remasters of games roughly a year before the first new entry of a new console. Gears of War is yet to have a new game on the Xbox Series consoles, and fans are begging for some kind of old school game to revive the community. An MCC-style Gears of War collection would not only be a great way to revive the Gears community on new consoles and the PC, it would also be a great way to market Gears 6, which is probably still going to need another 2 years in the oven. So, in closing, When Microsoft tried to turn 2023 into their big comeback year, and Gears of War being in a bit of a rough spot, it makes sense to me for a remaster collection to be announced at June's Xbox conference. Plus, we can't forget, we're currently living in the era of remakes and remasters, so Microsoft could totally ride that hype for the Gears Remaster collection, especially if they manage to include all the content from the original 3 games. You may think the Gears IP is dead, but I think we all know that Microsoft, if they were to announce a massive Gears collection that included campaigns, multiplayers, and horde modes of the OG3, the internet would explode. It doesn't matter how disappointing 4 and 5 were. It doesn't matter how small the Gears community has become over the last decade. A remastered collection of the original trilogy would bring a ton of people back and on board, and Microsoft knows that. The only question now is whether they're going to take advantage of it. So you let me know what you think. If anything new drops anywhere, I'll keep you covered. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.